Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 32 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. As you can see, I've been doing a little magic between this episode and last. Looks like there's a little bit of flux laying around here, mostly because I've been messing around with some magical stuff. Been doing some infusions and a couple other Thaumcrafty things off camera. Now that you guys have seen pretty much most of the basics of Thaumcraft, I wanted to handle some of the stuff I wanted to make off camera. So what I'm ready to make is pretty much the top tier wand that's available in Thaumcraft. So you can see here, if we went ahead and placed this nice fancy great wood wand in here, oh man, that's actually not what I would expect. There we go. That's right, 54. What I want to make is a nice wand, but it requires 54 of each aspect to be in the wand. Unfortunately, this wand can only hold 50, but I'm here ready to make something that should make things a little bit easier for me going forward, and that is this stuff. Dun 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 dun. Enchanted fabric. As you can see, it requires about one. I'm getting a little bit of a cost change because I'm using the cheap wand, but that's all right. I'm going to make myself some nice fancy clothes. So I'm going to need thaumaturgist robes. I also wouldn't mind some pants and some boots. Oh, you know what? I think I need a couple more pieces of string and wool, don't I? All right, that's right. I needed 19 of them. Yeah. So let's see. What do we got down here? Any more? Yeah, 3 more. That'll do. And a dozen of these. So yeah, these articles of clothing from Thaumcraft are very helpful because they reduce the amount of V required for all your magical work and stuff that you're doing. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and put this and this. Let's see if I can get this out of here. Cool, nice. So now my wand here has about 48 in them. If I were to take everything off here and put this stuff on, you'll notice that I have some discounts going on. So if I try and make my wand right now, you can see I'm right about 51.3. I think if I got a pair of, I don't think the Mana Steel Helmet of Revealing, unfortunately, doesn't give me the bonus, but if I got another Goggles of Revealing, I think I'd be in good shape. So let's get some gold and some leather and a couple V shards and get myself Goggles of Revealing. We're going to want Thermometer times 2. And then pop over, and I think the Goggles of Revealing are something like, take these out for the time being. Gold, gold, and the leather. There we go, nice. Now if I put these on, they also have a 5% B discount. So you can see I get discounts in all my cool stuff that I'm making. I think I might be able to pull this off now. Yes, 48.6. It's only insufficient at the moment because I had to use a little bit. But you'll notice now that overall it's a cheaper cost to make stuff. So I should be able to get this awesome wand. I just have to fill up my current wand. But before I go do that, I want to make the following. I think I need 3 of you and a couple pieces of iron. If I'm wrong, I'm going to look up the recipe, but I might be right. I think it's this and this. There we go. Armor stand. Perfect. I just need a redstone signal to go along with this armor stand. I'm going to put it here. Get myself a torch. Let's see. Pop back over here. What I'd like to do is set up the armor stand right here. So I'm going to swift into bat form real quick. Place down the armor stand. The armor stand is cool. You can place armor on it. So I can put pieces of armor on there individually, but what I'm actually going to do is sneak behind here real quick and apply a redstone signal to the block underneath the armor stand. Because if you're applying a redstone signal to the armor stand, you can swap all your armor that you're wearing in one shot instead of individual pieces at a time. So the way this works is pretty easy. Simply, I think, right-click, let's see, to access the armor stand, and then shift right click to place all your armor on there when it has a redstone signal. Without a redstone signal, you can place individual pieces of armor. So now I've got this nifty little armor stand here holding all this, magical V discount stuff. You can see 54 is the cost currently. If I throw this wand back in there, swap out my armor, now it's 48. If I remember to do that, great. If I don't, well, you know me, I forget sometimes. But What this does for us is just makes things a little bit easier. So I'm going to go put on my good armor, take my wand with me, refill it, and get my good wand, and probably refill that a bit off camera. So let's sneak outside and go take a look at where I can get stuff refilled. By the way, I brought some sheep over to my sheep farm. I've also had this disabled for a bit. I think what's happening is sometimes like other animals are walking nearby, or creatures at night like zombies and stuff are coming nearby, and they're basically triggering the eye that's under there to think that there's more creatures than there really are in the pen. So like if zombies walk nearby, withering, then that's bad news, right? So I have that disabled. I'm going to come up with a new way to do an animal farm at some point in the future. Oh, so dizzy. Stop. Almost there. Much better. All right, let me get my wand filled up, and we'll be back in a minute. I'm going to make that good wand, and then I need to really look at my storage system. Right now, I have a ton of items and not a ton of places to store said items. So I think we're going to take a break from Thaumcraft for a bit and get into some form of item storage. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for it, but we'll come up with something. All right, back in a few minutes once I find a good node to refill from. Alright, should have enough V in my wand now. Let's see. Nice. Thaumium Boss Silverwood Wand. This thing has a capacity of 100. It has an even better V discount, I think, than the other wand, and it's just overall pretty much the best wand you can get from vanilla Thaumcraft for your general use. There's some other tools and stuff that you can do stuff with, but for the most part, this is one of your better ones. I'm glad I've got it. Just for those of you who weren't aware of how this thing is made, it's pretty straightforward. It's in Thaumaturgy. You're going to need some silver wood infused in the infusion altar with different kinds of shards and a bunch of aspects. I did that, and then you're going to need thaumium wand caps, but thaumium wand caps are inert by default. You need to infuse them with some Salus Mundus and some Aurum and Potentia. The best source of Aurum is destroying Aura nodes. They drop items that you can then break down into Aurum. Salus Mundus are those balanced shards smelted in just a vanilla smelter. You can use a vanilla furnace or any of your smelting blocks, and then you can infuse your stuff and put it all together. So pretty complicated to craft. Did a lot of that between last episode and this one. Now I've got a couple wands laying around. They're all pretty empty. I should really get a wand recharging station, but like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from Thaumcraft. I've been doing a lot of it the last few episodes, and I think the best thing to work on right now is some kind of item storage system. I'm not sure how I want to handle things, because clearly my items are going a little bit out of control. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to start storing stuff a little bit more efficiently than I have been lately. So let me come up with a plan, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, I think it's time to take a dive into a new way of storing items. New to this series, but not new to the world. It's time for Applied Energistics. That's right, I think I want to get going on this. Now, I think I haven't really done much in the way of Applied Energistics designs when it comes to AE2, because this is really the first time I'm doing Applied Energistics 2, which is an updated version of Applied Energistics 1. It's kind of been reformulated and changed a lot. So the reason that I'm saying this is I think a lot of the Forgecraft series, Soren has been doing a lot of the AE2 work. So I'm excited to kind of work on my own AE2, get everything going, do it all myself kind of thing. Now what you want to do first is find yourself something out in the world. As a matter of fact, I think I want to go back to my base because I need to make something that'll help me out. Let's swing back here and see what we can come by. I just grabbed my stuff over there because I wanted to... This is a much faster sugarcane farm, by the way, than I have. What I want is a compass. This will definitely help me out. There it is, Meteorite compass. Cool. We're going to need some iron and some charged Certus quartz crystal. Now, hopefully I've got some of that stuff in here somewhere. Let's see. Any charged Certus? Yes. Cool. So charged Certus is pretty rare. As you can see, we've got a ton of Certus quartz crystal, and then just a little bit, about half a stack's worth of charged Certus quartz. So it's much, much less common than regular Certus quartz. Having a quarry helps. I think my quarry, by the way, is stopped at the moment, which is fine. Probably due to the fact that I've run out of redstone. Yeah. And gunpowder down here. Getting a little bit shy on gunpowder and redstone, so we might need to come up with a new power source relatively soon, but at least for now we're all right. We're going to let it be. So let's make what we want to make, which is the Meteorite compass. Dun 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 dun! From Applied Energistics 2. Alright, I get the Meteorite Hunter. Cool. So there's apparently a meteorite off in this direction. let's start heading that way. Cool. So as I start heading off in this direction, hopefully I will encounter a meteorite at some point. So this should be pointing to the nearest one to the player. Oh, hang on. Let's see here. Coming over this way. Oh boy, here we go. So when this thing starts spinning like crazy, that means that somewhere within this chunk there is a meteorite. So as you guys are probably aware, the world of Minecraft is divided into chunks, and if you hit F9 here, you can see your chunk boundaries courtesy of NEI. So somewhere there is a meteorite in this chunk. So let's head back. I'm going to get my excavator. I might even need to repair it a little bit. Let's see, how is my excavator doing? Yeah, he's hurting for some repairs. So let's get a few pieces of iron. Pop out here for some repairs. Excavator. That'll do. And we'll head back over to where that meteorite was. Somewhere over here. There we go, this is the chunk we're in. I'm just going to start digging down in the center-ish of this chunk. Is this even the same chunk we were in before? I don't think so. Wow, there might be two meteorites near each other. That would be kind of uncommon. Interesting. You know what? Maybe it means that the meteorite is in the corner of these four chunks. That could be a very strong possibility. So what I think I want to do is dig straight down here, right in the center. That would be cool. Let me sleep through the night before zombies and such become a problem, and then we will return to dig down and see what we can find. Alright, down we go. Probably should have brought my hammer with me, but that's okay. Let's do this. I'm going to start looking. Oh, here we go. Nice, we found it. So if we clear this, you'll see that there is actually, at this border, that's why the thing's spinning, there is some skystone in this, and this chunk. So we found skystone. Nice. Wow, this stuff takes a while to break with my pick. Oh yeah, it's got obsidian level hardness. Alright, so what we're looking for is something very important inside this meteorite. I think it's some kind of alien tech type stuff. I'm going to get my fun old, let's see, there we go, hammer, because that's going to make life a million times easier for digging through the skystone. Hammer, there you are. Thank you. Let's do that. I don't need the F9 lines anymore. And I'm going to just start digging through this. It's going to take a while to dig my way through this obsidian level strength of skystone. Let me come back in a minute once I've found what I'm looking for. Oh my, I found it already. Sky stone chest. Really, really hard to see. It looks almost identical to the sky stone, so it's very hard to see. But I did happen to find it by hammering away. And inside that sky stone chest is an inscriber engineering press. Cool. So you can see here that just by opening this chest, I get a nice little enchantment or achievement. And we get one of the 4 presses available in Applied Energistics 2. So what we're going to have to do now is probably go find ourselves some more meteorites. So let me come back in a minute once I found another one. Now, not all meteorites are too hard to find. Some of them are found above ground. Here's an example of one on the map. Let's head over there. Hey, here it is. All right, so we've got a meteorite that's above ground, which is nice. And I'm just going to, again, kind of break into it using my hammer and hopefully stumble across the skystone chest. It's supposed to be in the exact center of the meteorite. So your best bet in finding this chest is just digging around into the center of the meteorite, and you'll track it down eventually. Oh, there we go. Looks like I got another engineering press, which is kind of bad luck, but I also got a calculation press, so that's nice. Like I said, there's 4 presses in total. I've now found 2 of the 4, so let's go see what we can do about finding some more. Gonna have to find another meteorite. And we found another one. Woot! So I'm just gonna dig into this guy and hopefully get a little bit lucky with what's inside. Nice, I got another one. So you can see here we've got a logic, engineering, and calculation press. I really only need one more. So let's hopefully go find ourselves another meteorite. Alright, it's getting dark out, so hopefully I will find this chest pretty quickly in here and get some good stuff. Like I said, hammer's probably your best bet for finding the chest inside this meteorite, because they are kind of hard to track down with how similar they look to the ores. I think that's kind of intended as like a gotcha. Alright, let's junk some of this stuff. What do I have on me that I can use to make things? There we go. Alright, put away some... How do I get a tin nugget? I don't even know. Certus quartz crystal. Sure, I'll hang on to that because we're going to need a ton of it soon. And we'll put all this junk away that I don't need at the moment. Alright. I have a 4th engineering inscriber press and a 4th skystone chest. So I feel like I might have already found the chest in here, which is bad news because it had, you know, exactly what I didn't want, which was an engineering press. So I'm going to have to go find another one of these meteorites. I will be back in a minute when I find it. Oh great, now it's dark out and it's raining. Come on, skystone chest, where are you? No such luck this time. Hooray! I finally found a silicon inscriber press. Woot! So that's the 4th and final one that I need and want. As you can see, I've got calculation, engineering, and logic. I had a lot of those. And the silicon inscriber press. Nice. Oh great, you rearranged all my inventory, didn't you? Thanks very much, I wanted that. Alright, so let's get back to our base, and now we can start having some fun with applied energistics. See you later, skystone chest. Well, maybe I'll bring you with me. Alright guys, so here's the deal. Applied Energistics is going to be a whole new storage system for us. You only need one of each of these engineering presses and silicon presses. I threw the others in here. You really don't need them. You could actually probably just trash them if you want. If you're on a server and you're playing with friends and you want to be able to share them, there is a way to copy them. But for now, we're just going to leave them in there. And what I'm going to do is show you how to get started with Applied Energistics. So there's a few things you're going to want to get. The first one is probably an inscriber. Now, to get an inscriber going, you're going to want some iron and some sticky pistons and either a pure Fluix crystal or a Fluix crystal. Now, pure Fluix crystals, or there's actually several kinds of pure crystals you can get. It's kind of a way to double your number of Certus quartz crystals, for example, or Fluix crystals, or whatever you want. So if you want, you can double them using a process that I'll show you in just a bit. But for now, because I'm not too interested in doubling these things just yet, I'm going to hold off on that. Instead, I'm going to place a bit of water down, because that's what we're going to need in order to get Fluix crystals. So let's get ourselves, I actually think I need some charged Certus quartz. So remember, that stuff's pretty rare, and you're going to need some of it to get started with Applied Energistics, so make sure you're ready. So let's take a look. If we want to get our inscriber going, we're going to need sticky pistons, which we'll get in a minute, and we're also going to need some Fluix crystals. Now, it tells you in NEI how to do this. Drop 1 charged Certus quartz with nether and redstone dust. Alright, let's try this out. So 1, 2, 3, and stand back. Ta-da! Little magic happens, and we just got some Fluix crystals. Nice. So Fluix crystals, as you can see, are going to be pretty useful. I'm going to get a handful of these. There we go. A little bit of magic happening, and ta-da! Looks like it happens just fast enough for my magnet to pick it back up. But might not be a terrible idea to take my magnet off for the time being, just in case. There we go. Nice. Looking good. Next up, we're going to want some sticky pistons. And we're going to want a bit of iron. And then we should be able to cook ourselves up an inscriber. Hooray! So the inscriber, I'm just going to place here for now. This thing's pretty straightforward. When you want to create inscribing presses, all you need to do is go ahead and place one of these presses up in the top slot and the item that you're inscribing in the bottom slot. Okay. So what we can make with these are, I think they're called circuits. Yeah, cool. So these printed circuits are pretty straightforward, right? So you just place the calculation press with crystals, and you want to use the engineering press with diamonds, And the logic press requires gold. Now the last thing you're going to need is silicon. So printed silicon uses the silicon press with some silicon itself. Now there's a couple ways to get silicon. We've been getting it from Ender.io. So Ender.io has a neat way of getting silicon straight from sand, which is cool and useful. And that is or dictionaried with the silicon from Applied Energistics. So if we want to get some silicon, it's pretty cool. All we need to do is find our silicon press here, throw our silicon in there, and then we need to supply this guy with some power. So let's get some. I'm not sure if we can plug power directly in, so we're going to find out here in just a minute. Let's get some more of this stuff. So we're going to need some redstone and iron, right? Yeah. I'm going to make a few more power conduits, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, so luckily I have a power line feeding right into my nifty guy right here that's doing the wireless recharging, so I can just tap right into that, and let's see if this thing's powered directly with RF. It is! Hooray! So we can see we're getting some RF power in here, and after just a few seconds we get ourselves some printed silicon. And any more silicon that we place in there, now unfortunately you can't place a full stack in, you have to kind of do it one at a time, so that kind of stinks, but don't worry, we'll be automating this process very quickly. By the way, it has a nifty little animation here when it's ready to, you can see the silicon sitting in there, and once it charges up and runs, you'll see it go pound and create itself a little printed silicon. Nice. So you're going to want a good handful of these things. They're one of the foundations of making any circuit. Now another very useful block that we're going to want is a charger. As you can see here, it just requires some iron and one of these fluix crystals or two. I'm just going to tap down here, place this guy over here, and place down the charger, also requiring power. And this guy is going to simply take any regular old Certus quartz and turn it into charged Certus quartz. So check this out. If we put this stuff in here, just right click with it, and you'll notice that it takes a few seconds, but eventually it'll kind of light up, and you can see from Whale that it contains charged Certus quartz. It also is a little bit brighter of an appearance. Just right click it, and it'll pull out of there. So it takes a few seconds to fully charge, but once it does, it's sometimes pretty quick actually. It takes about a second sometimes, depending on how much power it's got stored in it. Cool. So a quick and easy way to get yourself more charged Certus so that you don't have to find it in the ground, because that stuff's very rare and you're going to want lots of it pretty soon. So the next thing we're probably going to want to get is a bit of cabling. Now cabling, there's several different types. We'll cover what most of the differences are in a bit, but the most basic version you're going to want is some ME glass cable. The Fluix kind is fine. There's different colors that prevent them from connecting to each other. We'll probably play with that in the future, but for now just the basic glass cable. So it's going to require some Fluix crystals, and it's also going to require some quartz fiber, which is just glass and either ground up Certus quartz or ground up nether quartz. Now it just so happens that because of my quarry and all the work I've been doing, I have quite a bit of Certus quartz crystal. So I'm going to grind up some of that in my sag mill here. We can just pull that out, Certus quartz crystal. Hopefully this works in the sag mill. Yay, it looks like it does. So we'll let that thing grind its way up and get a bunch of that good stuff. Now, while that's cooking, I'm going to plan for the future a little bit. What I'm going to want to have eventually is some covered cabling. So we can take a look. We're going to want to eventually have some smart cable, which requires some covered cable, and that is just any kind of wool around Fluix. What I did between last episode and this, and I think I mentioned at the start of this episode, is I added some sheep to my farm over here and threw some wheat in here. So let's start snipping these guys. I think all the wheat should be gone. I find half a stack usually produces a good amount of sheep, so that works. Nice. So now that we've got that kind of situated, I'm going to automate a sheep farm in a little bit, but for now we can stick with what we've got. So let's put away all this junk that we've collected, courtesy of that, and see how my production of Certus quartz dust is doing. Great. And glass should be cooking up as well for me. And I should now be able to get some cables. So let's see, this, and this yields 3 of these glass quartz fibers, and then I can get 4 of these per pair of Fluix crystals. Now one thing I can do with these Fluix crystals, if I wanted to double them, let's see, there should be a way. I think I can double them, can I? Pulverizer, sag mill, rock crusher. What I'm looking for is fluix seed. Ah, there we go. We need to take fluix dust and sand. Will get us 2 fluix seeds. Let's take a look here at how we can manage to make this thing be cool. So what I'll probably want to do is take my fluix crystal, once this is done chewing up all my Certus quartz. And it's a good idea that we're breaking this down anyway, because we'll probably want to get some Certus quartz seeds at some point as well, which is just the Certus quartz dust and sand. This thing is done, so let's go ahead and let this thing chew up. And let's combine that with a piece of sand. Oh look, I have just one, perfect. You and this fluix dust will get me 2 fluix seeds. Now I can drop these in here and they'll just hang out. Probably a good idea to take your magnets off at this point because we want to let them sit in there. Unfortunately, this takes a long time. And I mean a really long time. But in order to help us out, we can speed things up. So let's take a look. Right now, we've made almost no progress. It's still 0.0%. So we really haven't made much progress. Let's go ahead and toss these things in here and hopefully get ourselves a bunch of fluix crystals. Cool. While that's there, I'm going to toss these back in. I'm going to turn these fluix crystals into a pair of fluix blocks. While I'm at it, I'm also going to get myself some quartz glass, which is some ground up quartz and some glass. We're going to want 2 sets of those, so that ought to do. And then finally, I want to make this guy, a crystal growth accelerator. So as you can see, it requires a bit of the cabling that we made a minute ago, some iron and some quartz glass. This will accelerate the growth of those little crystal seeds quite a lot. Now, the only downside to that is the power requirements are enormous. So we're going to want to keep that in mind. We're going to kind of see how much power it is. Do I have a power monitor by chance? I don't think I do. So let's take a look. I can probably make one of these real quick because I don't think I have one handy, do I? I don't think I've really played with one of these just yet. Yeah, I don't have one down here. This is probably where I'd be hiding it. So let's make a power monitor from Ender.io. It's going to require a conduit probe. It's going to require a machine chassis and all kinds of good stuff. I'll be back in a minute once I've got it done. Do I have any of the electrical steel stuff? All right, power monitor, ready to go. This will help us monitor how much power we're using on the network, just to give you guys an idea of what kind of power needs we're going to have here. So in the time that it took me to do all that work, let's see how these guys did. So they made, oh wow, almost no progress at all. That's almost terrible. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Fluix seeds, okay. Pretty sure I'm doing this right. Pure Certus quartz crystal, yeah. Yeah, so it's really like made no progress at all, which is terrible. But we're going to place some of these things around the sides to help speed it up a little bit. So we're going to do these 2 for now. But like I said, they do require power. So let's get down underground and make that happen. Oh, there we go. So what I'll probably wind up doing is just coming around the side here. That sounds like a good plan. And yeah, I know I'm using the wrong tool. I'm terrible. There we go. We'll put some cobble here for now. That'll work out. I'll get rid of all this down here. And then I can just sneak in there. So, energy conduits. Oh, you won't go into that, will you? So these guys won't hook up directly to RF. We're going to have to use something called a power acceptor, I think it is. I was close. It's called an energy acceptor. That's what we're going to want. So let's see, where's that energy acceptor at? Somewhere around here. There we go. You know what? I put this stuff away, that's why. There's that extra quartz glass I made. And the energy acceptor. Cool. So this guy will accept RF power and create the power required for applied energistics. And that is going to go into my glass cabling. So we just run this here right into this energy acceptor, which can then receive power from our RF network. So for fun, we're going to tap our power monitor into here, and we'll see that currently we're using, let's say, right now it's filling up the internal buffer. So let's wait for that to fill up before we can really get a good idea of what it's using. All right, so you can see on average we're using about 22 RF per tick just to maintain the current working environment that we have here. And that's just whatever machines happen to be running and whatever's going on in the base right now, right? So let's tap this power line over here and see how much we're going to be using when we decide to activate our energy crystals. And here's the problem with these things, by the way. Even when they're not actually doing anything, they're going to be drawing power. So we have to turn them off at some point, which we'll probably have to work on next episode. So if we take a look, we should see these things: crystal growth accelerator, device currently offline. There we go, device online. This one's offline. Not sure why one's on and one's off. It might actually be power. So we're using quite a bit more right now. You know what it is it that? No, that should be all right. 40 RF, huh? So the crystal growth accelerator is still offline. Well, that's funny, you're not connected there. That's why. See how it's not connected in? I wonder why that is. That's weird. Let's try... Oh, I know why. Hold on. This thing has to be rotated in such a way that it can only accept power from one of its sides. Think that'll do it? There we go. It's connected in now. Nice. So now I can place my energy acceptor here, and I can place my thing there. And now you should be online. See how there's little lightning effects coming out of it? That's the problem. Cool. So let's see how much power we're using, because I wouldn't be surprised if it's a decent amount. So yeah, we're up to 54 now. So a decent amount of power is required to keep this thing up and running. But it should rapidly increase the speed at which we can produce these crystal growth. So if we drop our fluic seeds in there, we'll come back in a minute, and then we're going to have to wrap up the episode. So just a few seconds have passed. It's maybe not even been a whole minute, and we're already at 4% growth here. So definitely a lot faster process with these crystal growth accelerators there. We can have a total of 4 around it. We're going to automate this process as well. Again, the real main focus of this is just doubling our Certus quartz. We turn 1 Certus quartz into 2, or we turn 1 fluix crystal into 2 fluix crystals. Cool? So for now, time to wrap up the episode. So this is Direwolf20 signing off. We've got some of the foundation required to get some cool applied energistic stuff up and running. Next episode, we're going to actually start putting it to use, and we're going to build a storage system, and we'll get some, conduits and lines running throughout the base, and it's going to be probably a multi-episode process just to get everything ready for our AE system, but once it's in place, it's going to make things a lot easier. Storage, crafting, sorting, you name it, is just going to be a heck of a lot easier once we've got an AE2 systems in place, and crafting will be really cool too. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed checking it out. We will be back next time with a lot more Applied Energistics 2 progress. Ooh, 22%, nice. See how much faster that is with just those 2 crystal growth accelerators? Now imagine with 4 around it. It's craziness. All right, guys, take it easy.